You ready?
Okay.
He's ready. That's all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 25th, 2022 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh?
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Treacy?
Present.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes, here.
Here. That's the answer.
Okay, there are no presentations scheduled for this evening, so at this time, we're going to go to reports from volunteers. If there are reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community, please raise your hand. No? Okay. Next item on the agenda is public comments. The public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone and provide your name and address for the record. Anyone? Hello.
My name is Diane Mara. That's Linda Placidra. We reside on Mandeville Ave. I'm at 32. You're at 26. We're on the westbound side of Mandeville Avenue. We were, I believe, Mr. Brewer, I've emailed with you back and forth over the summer regarding the sidewalks and the potholes and that. Well, you had told me that it was going to be evaluated in the fall, and we were given notices of abatement where we had to replace our sidewalks to a certain ordinance. 20 years, I guess, or so, I've been going to Town Hall trying to get the sidewalks replaced. We had quotes. Linda's quote was $9,000. My quote was $5,000. I left letters in neighbors' mailbox to see if anybody would come. A couple of people said they did not receive one. Our question is, why are we being responsible for replacing sidewalks that were never replaced in the first place, as the rest of the town has been, and they're on their second go-round? We don't have handicap, we have handicap corners, but they don't have the red blind grid. If you go on Oak, you can't even see the sidewalks there. Across from the firehouse on Lincoln Park Road, also, sidewalks are about that big, and 20 years I've been trying to rectify this, only to get this. I made copies for each of you if you want to see it. We don't have our estimates written down, but that's our question. I mean, I went on Ramapo today, and they're stunning. They're beautiful.
Wait, can I ask a question?
You lived around the corner. You know the sidewalks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's the sidewalks that the town put in, and then
over 20 some odd years ago.
Now the town is asking you to pay for them to be replaced?
Because they are, they're piecing. They're not
Breaking.
They're breaking.
Right.
Yeah. So we have to either repair or replace areas that are deteriorated.
I don't know if anybody had the chance to go to Ramapo before those sidewalks were done.
Right.
They were horrendous.
Yeah, they were.
They were already done. They're replacing sidewalks on the boulevard. This is the straight, we're around the corner from a school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They did from the corner of the boulevard which the house faces Gerace, it faces the boulevard, on the corner of Mandeville and the boulevard, that has concrete up until the end of that person's property, and then they stopped. So, I don't know where to start, we don't know where to start. I'm not putting $5,000, she's not putting $9,000, $8,000 to replace the sidewalk that the rest of the town did not have to pay for, that I've been asking for this for years.
I'm going to ask Mr. Brewer to comment on this because he has some knowledge on it.
I've been in touch with him over the summer, and you've been very responsive and leading me where to go. The other thing that we talked about, the east side of Mandeville was completely repaved. We had a pothole that every time you made a left out of Mandeville into the boulevard, we fought for that. They threw some tar in there. We got tar sprinkled on the road. That was it. I don't know what the difference was between the two, but it looks like crap.
Okay.
And then the sidewalks as well. But then we got this from the zoning officer, Jill Hartman. I guess that's who did the assessment in the fall.
So just to back up a little bit, the way that sidewalks and roads are approached in the township of Pequannock is there's a rating structure that's done. So there's an analysis of everything town-wide. So there are instances where, using Ramapo as a recent example, a sidewalk area is identified to be replaced through a municipal project. And then the rest of the town, based on the ordinance, and Mr. Oostdijk can amplify my comments regarding the ordinance, the responsibility for maintenance and repair of sidewalks rests with the property owner.
I understand that.
So when we exchanged email, I reached out to the code enforcement office, the engineer's office, the zoning officer, and said, here's what's going on, check it out. My recollection, and I'm going by recollection here, my recollection is there are some specific examples of where there are some deteriorating sections of the sidewalk, but by comparison to some of the areas, they're not as bad as some other sidewalks.
Try to walk down my sidewalk. And I understand what you're saying.
I appreciate, I'm just trying to answer your question.
I understand that we are supposed to maintain our sidewalks. The sidewalk on the corner, that's the one that, it's a rental, I believe. They're fixing it up now. They had the poison ivy overgrown, you had to walk in the street. They haven't shoveled the sidewalk. I understand that it's our responsibility, but I've been fighting to have this replaced so that we can maintain it.
Yes.
And it hasn't been addressed. So now they're falling apart. We've put sealant over it. We've done that throughout the years, but it's beyond that now.
Okay. And I'm happy to go back and revisit the issue with the folks that did the inspection and created the rating program. I'm going again by recollection. I think it was like August or September that the emails were going back and forth.
Right.
And the report I got back from the staff that conducted the inspection was that predominantly the sidewalks are in decent shape, but there are some areas that were deteriorating.
And I believe that we're the only two that received a letter of abatement.
Okay.
And
if there's an area that was identified, that's the municipal process.
I understand that. Our question is, why wasn't this addressed years ago so that we can maintain and maybe be on the same path as Ramapo and being on our second go-round? This has gone on for 20-some-odd years.
Are we going to do sidewalks this 2022?
There's a component of the capital appropriation for sidewalks for 2022, but again, there's the competition for resources based upon an evaluation.
Oh, I
So
think
my recommendation would be to include the two houses or whatever sidewalks on that part of the street that need to be fixed.
With respect to other people who have made repairs through enforcement, is that a problem, or is that something we can do?
No, the council can decide when they want to do public projects.
I appreciate that, but with
I mean,
the whole...
I don't know
The
how
town
we
agrees
can...
that they're bad enough so that they're telling them to fix them, we should fix them.
That's what I was
Well,
trying to
the challenge is the municipal ordinance says what the municipal ordinance says, which is a policy that's established by this governing body.
Was anybody on Ramapo sided with this letter prior to us fixing those sidewalks?
I don't know.
Well, I would check on that, because if there weren't, then why are we doing it to them? Because those sidewalks were horrendous.
And we should probably revisit that.
Well, again, if the council has a desire to revisit the ordinance, there's greater implications to that, which required additional conversation, but that's something that can be discussed. And obviously, again, if the budget being a policy document, if the governing body wants to include that as a component, that's the governing body.
Yeah, I would think if it's a couple slabs or so, that's one thing.
Right.
But if replace the whole sidewalk in front of your house, put that on the homeowner, especially if it's like the case
it's
that's
as
been
bad.
talking about it for that long, seems a little excessive.
And I just remember there was always a like you said, we had a
We have a rolling schedule, just like we do with.
But we're the
But for
forgotten
some
end
reason-
town.
But for some reason, you were missed, or
I mean,
not considered the worst.
There's a lot of parts in town
Yeah.
that need it, just like that.
It's just that we can't afford to do them all.
We can't afford to
Right.
do
It's a
that.
question of
But I
limited
think we need
resources.
to-
I would love to fix it tomorrow, but.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we
okay,
need to
I
revisit
understand that, and I
Right.
appreciate the limited resources. This is years I've been asking for this, and now we're handed with this. I'm telling you, my piece is probably a 3x3
I'm in the
piece.
exact same situation.
We had estimates to have the whole thing ripped up and put concrete down like the rest of the town. But then we thought, okay, what if our two houses do it? Are we going to be then not uniform and then have to pull it up? You know, I don't understand.
I believe it's blacktop, it's not even
We're
concrete, right?
blacktop.
Correct.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten the concrete.
Right, so that
We're
should
still
be
blacktop.
priority to make into a traditional safe sidewalk.
We're
I mean,
directly
I
from
understand on
Therese.
one hand, it happened to me, so we had to connect to city water, we had to break up the sidewalk, and that's on me. I get that, I have no issue with that.
And no problem with that
But
either.
over time, just like other areas in town, when we need to replace sidewalks, just like we do a rolling thing, every 20, 25 years, we have every single road in town paved. I think that's our time frame, right? We have to figure out what to do with the sidewalk. So I think we need, as Adam was saying, Adam is restricted by what our ordinance says.
I appreciate
He
that.
can only do that.
I appreciate
think
that.
we, as a governing body, we need to take a look at the ordinance and see exactly what it is and how can we clarify it, make it a little bit easier.
We also had a grant for the other part of Mandeville. Is there any way we can switch that grant to this side of Mandeville?
The other side doesn't even have curbs.
The one that the school board didn't want to...
We never got
Oh, no,
the
that...
they never-
That was perfect. We never made the application. So we could make an application in the future years, but if I'm hearing the desire of the council, because I'm going to have to give direction to enforcement staff, should we hold the violations that have been sent?
I'd like to know how many violations have been sent.
Yeah.
I talked to a couple of, are you talking about on Mandeville?
No,
In general, how
okay.
many have been issued?
Okay, so, but just getting back to the point I just want to make sure I have clear direction on, is it the council's desire to hold these notices of abatement pending further discussion?
I would say yes.
Regarding the budget and
I'd say
anything
yes.
else?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say yes, but I heard two things. It's like, how bad is the sidewalk? Is it a 3x3 area that's bad? And
Well-
if we fix that, we're good for now, and at some point we'll replace the whole sidewalk?
No.
I haven't been there. I'll take a drive by.
My son is 25 years old now, and I have not been able to I wasn't able to push him on a stroller down to pick up my daughter at Therese, ever. You had to go out onto the street. There's
But
groups, there's,
But
you know,
got the letter.
but we got,
What did the letter say?
I have copies for each
Does
of
it say to
you.
replace the whole sidewalk? or
It
does say
says,
fix it?
it says one or the other.
I guess it's up to the...
Repair or replace in areas that have been deteriorated or to remove hazardous conditions for pedestrians.
But just to
You want me to-
clarify,
Yeah, you can give
this
it to Carol,
sidewalk,
she can pass them.
the sidewalk that's on your street is not a traditional sidewalk, it's a blacktop sidewalk. Right, so we're not talking about a concrete sidewalk, we're talking about a piece of junk.
So I think we're right in the, getting ready to get into the heart of the budget discussion. So I think, again, taking council's direction that I just got, so that will be confirmed to you in writing that it was held as a result of direction of council today.
Okay.
That it'll be a conversation to have with respect to the whole totality
town.
of the sidewalk review.
I agree.
In addition to a greater examination of the specific issues presenting these to homeowners.
Yes.
Yes.
And also I don't know if they need the red on the corners that were never placed. They were replaced with concrete, the corners.
Those aren't always required.
Oh, okay, I didn't know because it was so close to a school. it
Yeah,
didn't work.
when, there's different requirements in different
Okay.
situations.
Okay.
So I'll just, without stepping into engineering, which is not my forte, I don't want to mess that up. But
All right.
correspondence will be coming this week or early next week, so you can have a document behind what you got.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention, appreciate it.
All right, anyone else for public comment? Okay. Oh, there's somebody else.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So thank you, council. First off, the newly sworn in officers, congratulations and good luck. I'm sure you'll do great.
You gotta state your name.
Yeah,
right?
state your
Oh,
name. and
sorry, Amanda.
address.
No, this is my first time. Amanda Arroyo, 35 Colfax Drive in Pequannock. So thank you for your time. Just a quick intro of Pequannock Cares. CARES is the acronym for Community Action Resource Education and Service. The group is very fresh. We're only 2 months in, but we already have a formal mission, vision, board. Some of them are here tonight. 3-4 of us are here tonight, which is half of our board. EIN, PO Box, Facebook, Instagram, finalizing a website. We are not political, and we are a 501c4. So the mission statement of Pequannock Cares is to develop and foster an active relationship between Pequannock parents, young adults, senior residents, and local businesses. We believe there's merit in traditional values and will work to promote and preserve what makes Pequannock unique and a great place to live. So the vision of Pequannock Cares is to inspire charitable work and a renewed support for local businesses and organizations within the community and across all age groups. To inspire new and engaging, unique community events across all age groups and interests, to support traditional and standard areas of education, and to engage parents and community members to become active on town district committees, ensuring the voices of all our community are heard. So, in 2 short months with COVID and the holidays, we launched with Law Enforcement Awareness Day. So members of the group provided meals for both lunch and dinner shifts to Pequannock PD, and then Tommy at Pompton Queen refused to take our money. So thank you to Pompton Queen. Tommy and Sophia and them are awesome there. So we held the Touch a Truck and Honor an Officer event a little over a week ago. We had a great turnout considering the cold. Thank you, Council, for your support in kicking off the event along with Passaic County Pipes and Drums. We'd like to thank Chiefs 1 and 2 for Fire Companies 1 and 2, EMS, local state police for bringing their vehicles, and the state police helicopter that came 2 hours early, which I blame on my husband. We were like, oh, they're just doing a flyover, and they never came back. In aligning with the CARES vision, we tied in local businesses. So we want to thank Crank Fitness for donating 2 gift cards for a free trial for the winners, both child and adult, and 2 t-shirts for child adult for the pull-up challenge. 1 winner already did their eval, so hopefully they will double their pull-ups by the next event with their Crank membership. That was a lot of fun. We also had a raffle to give back to Pompton Queen for their lunch dinner shift donation, had a winner of $75 gift card to Pompton Queen, and we were told the $75 is going towards lots of disco fries platters. The kids had hot chocolate, s'mores, did a craft under the pavilion. It was a nice day. So to sum it up, again, our meetings began in November. Considering that, COVID, the holidays, we've made great progress. And in our first event, we saw hundreds come and go in the span of 2 hours, so not too shabby. That's all from us. We meet monthlies at the Legion. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and the website launch this week. We will also send you invites going forward. Thank you for your time.
Great. Amanda, thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda.
It was an awesome
Thank you for
time.
that, and if any of your other events are as good as the first,
Yeah.
you're off to something good.
Yeah, you
I was
did
able to stop by. It was really
Yeah.
cold that day, and I was amazed at how many people showed up.
too.
It was all family, and I gotta say, they did a great thing bringing all the families together in Pequannock, so great
You
job,
really
Karen.
did on a very cold day. You have accomplished a lot in a short amount of time, so keep it up.
We're just going to leave light bulbs and stickers and flags for you guys, okay?
Okay,
Thank
great,
you.
thank you.
It's from the event.
Okay, anyone else want to come up for public comment before we move on?
It's on the agenda, right?
I'm sorry,
Comments on agenda items?
he can come up. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you're asking about if it's on the agenda, is that what you
Yeah,
just,
it's on-
that's
yeah.
fine. You can come up and talk about something on the agenda.
Okay. I didn't want to be out of
No, that's fine. Just state your name and address for the record.
Okay. My name is Bob Morley, I'm 4 Jacksonville Road, Pompton Plains. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I am speaking on this R 2022-59, the COVID resolution. I hope you bear with me. I read the resolution. I have some questions and some. First, it is imperative to prohibit discrimination against individuals who have not been vaccinated. My question is why?
Simple answer.
No, my question is why? We discriminate against people all the time.
We're not going to discriminate your vaccination status, thank you.
We discriminate against kids all the time. We discriminate people all the time. Unvaccinated
status?
children have not been allowed to go to school for years. They're discriminated against. People under the age of 21 can't buy cigarettes, can't buy alcohol. They're discriminated against.
Not against vaccination status.
Adults are, so you're not going to listen to me?
Yeah.
Aren't you charged with listening to the members of the public, or are you just going to close your mind?
Please, I don't want back and forth here. I want your...
I was reading, he interrupted me.
All right, no, I asked him to please stop, so go ahead.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but he interrupted me.
Answering your question.
People under the age of 21 can't buy alcohol or cigarettes. That's discrimination. Adults are charged more than children to attend the same events. That's discrimination. All valid reasons. We do discriminate. We have to discriminate. It's one of the things that makes our society function. Second thing, in the 7th clause it says, the fundamental right of parents referred to in the 7th clause should be changed to acknowledging the rights of some parents and ignoring the rights of other parents who do not wish to have their children exposure increased unnecessarily. Our rights apparently aren't fundamental. Don't I have the fundamental right for my child to be as safe as possible when he attends school? Okay. Third issue. Why is this township council involving itself in the affairs of the school board? If I have an issue, can I have an issue with, say, school board taxes and address them to you? Because if I did, I know the first thing you would say is, talk to the school board. Absolutely. You would pass it off to the school board. And that's proper, because the school board runs the school board, you guys run the town. I've been told that by pretty much everybody on this council at least once. I know you won't pay any political price if you pass this resolution. You will all win re-election. That's the nature of this town. So I'm asking for you for your fidelity to the genius of our founding incorporation and establishing a representative form of government, not a democracy, a representative form of government. The representative's most important function is to protect the minority opinion and to do what is right, not what is popular, okay? It is wrong to resolve that you're protecting all parents' fundamental rights when you are not. It is wrong for a town council to inject itself into school board policies. The net effect of this resolution is that our school administrators will have to deal with parents not wanting to obey school policy, citing this resolution. Do we really want to make their jobs even more difficult? Okay. Lastly, now I've read this, and I don't know if it's true or not. People are saying this is basically a resolution to protect yourselves against future lawsuits. I hope that's not true, but if it is, just think about it the other way. You pass this resolution, some child, God forbid, gets sick or dies in school. After this resolution is passed, I would strongly check with my insurance carrier if I were you, because it's going to land on all of your doorsteps if that's what happens. So I really, truly hope you do protect the rights of our children and you protect the rights of the minorities in town here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We do appreciate your input, and the council has a right to make a statement, and they're making their statement, but we love the input from the residents, so we appreciate that. Yes, come on, Lorraine. Yep.
Lorraine Robertson, 128 West End Avenue, Pompton Plains. In regards to the resolution, I've always thought that discrimination was making unjustified distinctions between people based on groups, classes, or other categories which they belong to or perceive to belong. So I believe that I'm for what the town is going to state this evening. I've read what was written, And I believe that when the school board follows politics, not the reality of facts, that we do, as a town, need to come together and stand for what is not only right for the people of the town, but also for the children. If our children are our greatest commodity and our future, then we need to know that, well, there are two different opinions, right, but we need to do what's right for our children. And I have total faith and trust that our board is and will make the right decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren.
Marissa Roberto, 43 Greenview Drive, Pequannock. I was shown the resolution at 6:30, so I don't actually have any speech prepared, but I just wanted to let you know that it makes me very proud to hear that you guys are considering to pass this, and for the past 2 years, I have been advocating for parent choice to come back within the school district. I know I've reached out to many of you guys on different occasions to do that. My background, I'm a veterinarian. My husband's a medical professional. He's a physician. We've really lived through this pretty intensely. And I believe that my rights as a parent should be the utmost decision that I make for what is best for my child. This has become really out of control as a parent, and I would just like to counter one thing that Bob said. He made a very strong comment about the concept of a lawsuit of a child dying from COVID. The risk factors from the risk of children getting COVID and dying are extremely minuscule, which has been documented, and many, many kids, even over Christmas break, got COVID to the point that it was boom, 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 all over the place. I would like to counter that, though, with the concept of how many kids are suffering right now between suicide, depression, anxiety, just getting constantly, even my children have come home and said how they are getting yelled at multiple times a day about wearing the mask. You know, they're not having band anymore right now. They're not having gym. They are in gym. They're not allowed to change. The sporting events. I mean, there's so many psychosocial events that are going on that are so abnormal for our kids. And for me, the greatest gift I can give my kids during this short period of their development is to make sure that everything my husband and I have worked for is to give them their best opportunities to succeed in life. And the time is now for some of that to change and for parental rights to come back. So I really applaud you for putting this on the board, on the docket for today, and I really hope that you sign the resolution and try to help bring the town back together.
Thank you. Anyone else want to come up? Nope. Okay. There being no additional public comments, we will continue on with the agenda, and we're going to jump into the manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. 3 quick items to touch on. As we've discussed for a number of meetings this evening, we have a public hearing and the potential adoption of new programmatic fees for the Parks and Recreation Department. Also, there's an ordinance for introduction, for the council's consideration for introduction, that pertains to the purchase of 3 things. Essentially, this ordinance accomplishes the appropriation of funds from 2 reserves that have dedicated purposes, one being flood control capital reserve and the other a DPW vehicle reserve. The first item, and this is kind of what generated the momentum that led us to this ordinance. The first item is a vehicle that is amphibious that can be used to address snagging in trees and other things in the river. To be candid, we hired a contractor for a significant sum of money to do some desnagging work. The Public Works Department supervised that work and was very excited with the capabilities of the vehicle and thought perhaps if we could acquire the vehicle, they could do the work without having to hire the contractor on an as-needed basis to address snags and other flooding concerns across the river. The price for the vehicle is increasing, so there's a desire to get this on the docket. And once that happened, there was a conversation that generated because of the surcharge that was sent to the Public Works Director for the acquisition of vehicle that was authorized last year. So I said, okay, if we're going to do an ordinance for an appropriation from the flood control reserve for the Argo terrain vehicle, we can prepare the one for the purchase of the truck and the additional $4,500. And then lastly, along the same lines, there's been significant discussion for some time about an automated warning system and a river gauge, also a flood control or a flood mitigation tool. And similarly to the Argo as well, listen, if we're going to do one ordinance, we might as well throw this into, because it's never a bad time to acquire this. Last year, staff, in order to figure out exactly where the river was, literally was using binoculars and a flashlight at 3 o'clock in the morning looking across at the bridge, so this would save us from having that exercise. So, for the council's consideration, it is an ordinance that creates an appropriation. All of these funds are not being raised as new funds. They exist in reserves. This will free up some room in the capital budget if the council sees fit. If not, obviously, we can discuss it moving forward with a greater discussion included with the capital plan. And then lastly, as we've done, as we did last year for the first year, we had food trucks come in, and we called it the Late Night Tuesday concessions. It was especially a hit when there were restrictions and people couldn't get out, and we had that phenomenal weather in March. So we had a huge crowd outside that was very nice. We undertook the same RFP process, solicited interest, received proposals from 5 different trucks, and that is scheduled for the council's consideration of award this evening. Requires legislative approval because of the license being granted for a for-profit company to work on public property. If there are any questions on my report, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, that's it.
Do we have?
I got a quick question.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Go ahead.
About the 4700 SB. So we authorized the money in June 8th. I presume we signed a contract with them to get the truck?
There was a capital appropriation in 2021. Following the capital appropriation, because of the cost of the vehicle, there needed to be legislative approval as it exceeded the bid threshold.
Right.
It was being purchased through an approved co-op. So that's the approval that was given that's referenced.
So we approved
The
it.
contract has been executed.
There's a contract, but now, is it legal? They're coming back to us saying, well, it's really 5,000 more. Are they allowed to do that?
Are they allowed to do that? Yes.
Serious?
Could we fight the fight? Yes.
Could they tell us, yeah, you know what, your truck is going to come in 2023?
Yes.
Yeah, but this is the municipality.
happen
This is
on
the
the other
municipality. I mean, right? Why do we have contracts if...
No, they're going to say if you don't want the truck,
Oh, yeah,
sell it to
we'll sell it to somebody else for the $4,500 increase.
But I have a contract with you stating X.
Unfortunately, it's been going on all over again.
Actually, this is Bob.
Yeah.
Bob.
The same thing happened on the other
Serious?
vehicle.
So this makes every contract I'm in null and void?
No, of course it
I can
doesn't.
change my contract between my clients at any time. I'm sorry, Mrs. Smith, it's 5,000 more.
Oh, I guess you can try, but if
What's
she
the
says no, you're
difference?
out.
That's exactly right.
That's just it.
And
You
what
can
is-
try,
There was probably a big
and then
time
she could
thing.
say no or
Okay, well, you're not
yes.
getting your
We're
TV.
saying yes, so.
Wow. What a world.
Yep.
If you go to the dealership and order certain vehicles now, we'll tell you the price when it comes in.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's
Unless
right.
you walk out with it
I'm
that
not saying
day.
it's right,
Doesn't
but
mean
if
it's
you
right.
want it, that's what you got to do. Otherwise, you don't get it.
Right.
I went to buy a
ordered
truck the other
I
day.
ordered a car, put money on it, and then they said, oh yeah, we can't get you your car like 3 weeks later.
I went to buy a truck the other day. The sticker, the MSRP is $62,000. He said, that's not the price. It's 71. I said, how can you charge over sticker?
But at least you weren't
'Cause we
only
can.
in a contract 6 months ago expecting to pay X.
And to credit staff, as indicated in my report and supported by memorandum that was written by the Public Works Director, there was due diligence undertaken with the
Right.
vendor, there was due diligence undertaken with the co-op.
It is what it is.
It is what it is at this
But
point.
Bob, this is legal.
Co-op
Researched
price
it.
was changed.
The co-op recommended moving forward with the surcharge.
After investigating it, yeah. And seeing.
And I would imagine it's still much cheaper by us buying it through the co-op than the average Joe could have paid for this vehicle.
I get it.
Having not done the research, but knowing co-op purchasing, more than likely or almost certainly that would be the case, yes. And it's a 6-figure vehicle, so do we love the additional money? No. But
No,
to
it's
the
hardly anything
discussion's point,
relative, but Doesn't make it right.
No.
I want it on the docket.
Right,
It doesn't
no.
make it right.
Anything else, Brian?
That's all. Thank you,
There
Mayor.
was significant internal discussion about this, trust me.
Yeah, I believe
My
you.
question is, how long do you think it's going to take to get this vehicle, this amphisia, whatever the hell?
Amphibious?
Yeah.
The thing with the big tires. that's what I call it.
We'll order it as soon as it's available, which would be probably 5 or 6 weeks based upon the legislative process. How long, I don't know, I can circle back to the...
Do we have permits in with the DEP right now?
Yes.
So that when we do get it, we can roll with the...
And the permits are good for a couple of years.
Okay.
And we can, as has been discussed in prior meetings many years ago, we can keep the permits active, considering the fact that we now have the ability to do it on an as-needed basis.
And whatever we can do to help with the flooding and the,
Absolutely.
de-snagging, these are like no-brainers.
I know.
Anybody else have
Yes,
anything?
I got a couple.
John?
One on this amphibious vehicle. Can I drive it?
We could set up some workshops, certainly.
No, I think it's a good idea, but do we have the personnel to run it without taking it away from somebody else, or do we got to hire somebody to operate this thing?
We have the personnel to manage.
We do, and it's obviously they're not going to use it all the time.
No.
Right.
It's a specialty vehicle.
Specialty.
All right.
They were allowed to,
Try it.
one could say demonstrate or demo, one could say play with the contractors when the contractor was in town. And again, it generated a lot of excitement.
Want to see my new
I would imagine it's going to be used for what we're saying.
Correct. Yeah, it's not something.
It's not going to be used for to drag a baseball field.
No. It'll be dedicated to this use. But if anybody who walks the edge of the river or kayaks in the river will see there are things that can be addressed.
Right. And then the automated flood water system, I think is a great idea. The last one, the compression trucks, we have to pay them to do this?
No.
They're paying us.
Oh, they're paying us. Yes. All right, they did it that way. But then again, I'm not that bright, so.
And I think it's great. The only thing I had talked to Adam
Hold on
about
a second.
that.
Somebody's is it still going on, Michael?
Yeah.
Somebody's staticking over there. Is that the mic?
Might have fixed
Other
it.
than that, I'm good.
Don't move.
Anything.
It's like the old bunny ears.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
We're good? Okay, do you have anything before I go? Yeah, no, I was just going to make a comment that, the food trucks on Tuesdays are great, and we're going to, try to publicize it even more, like, make sure people know about it. That everything's
Was the
success.
lobster guy busy the rest of the dates? You only could do one?
He just wanted the one in the summer.
Or is that a special day for somebody here?
That's International Lobster Day.
John, you bring
Yeah, right.
Your wife for her anniversary?
Maybe, yeah.
I was going to check and see, maybe it's my birthday.
And they're from out of county, too, so they're traveling.
Somerset, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know if you can open up the training to the amphibious vehicles to the general public?
Yeah, right.
Sure. Take them on a ride, $5
Be
each.
first.
It's Flag Day, Dave.
You're going to have to lock that thing up under a key. Lock
Yeah.
the
I was
key.
thinking of my family.
Okay, next on the agenda is public hearings. We got a public hearing on, I'm going to ask Ms. Marsh to read it, but it's a public hearing on ordinance 2022-01.
Ordinance number 2022-01 is an ordinance amending Chapter 152 of the Code of the Township of Pequannock and revising fees for parks and recreation activities and programs.
All right, do we have any comments from the council on this ordinance? No? Is there a motion to open up to public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, if anyone in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please come up to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Anyone? Is there a motion to close the public
I'll
hearing?
make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make the motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-01.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
And we need a roll call, please.
Yeah, go ahead, second.
Mr. Treese?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is ordinances for introduction. Ms. Marsh?
First ordinance for this evening is ordinance number 2022-02, an ordinance to vacate a public right-of-way known as a portion of Mountain Avenue in the Township of Pequannock.
All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Brewer.
Or I
if he
can
has-
too. This is going to, this one may look familiar, because
Yeah.
we did it at the end of last year. The answer is ordinances to vacate have to be recorded with the county, along with all the publication that comes with it, within 60 days from adoption. And by the time that was understood and gone in, 60 days had passed. So we need to redo it so it can get recorded within 60 days.
So it's an old one.
It's an old one.
That never got
And I can go over again the reasons for it, but it makes a lot of sense to do it.
It's a redo, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I
a
agree.
redo.
Does anybody have questions about it, or are you good? Okay. All right, so no comments, and no other comments from the council on that? Is there a motion to introduce this ordinance on first reading?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes.
You have to stop making me laugh.
All right, next on the agenda is the introduction of ordinance number 2022-03. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2022-03 is an ordinance providing for various capital vehicle purchases and flood control measures in and by the Township of Pequannock in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and appropriating the sum of $27,000 for financing thereof.
Now, I know we talked about this. Any other comments, Mr. Brewer, on this?
Nothing unless there's any additional questions.
Any additional comments?
No.
Is there a motion to introduce the ordinance on the first reading?
I will do that.
I'll second.
Second, okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is resolutions for approval. Ms. Marsh, can you read those?
For the council's consideration this evening are resolutions R 2022-58, awarding a contract for a concession provider for food trucks on late Tuesday, the second Tuesday of each month, to the Empanada Times, Sip and Swirl, the Wicked Waffle Stick, Mexi Boys, and Cousins Maine Lobsters in accordance with the request for proposals. 2022-59, voicing objection to certain restrictions and mandates associated with COVID-19, supporting individual rights to make healthcare decisions and parental rights to make decisions for children, and opposing Executive Order 251, and Resolution R 2022-60, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the January 20th, 2022 bill list.
All right, are there any comments on these resolutions from the council?
I really like 59.
It's about time.
Yes.
It's about time.
Bob, is there any legitimate concern of a lawsuit? Because this is just a recommendation.
No,
Nothing is really going to happen.
Yeah, I heard the comment that it was out there that this was being done in response to some concerns about litigation, and that I've never heard a council person
No,
so much as ask
absolutely not.
about that issue. It's an expression of an opinion of the collective council, and that's what it is. So I don't see.
Unfortunately, I don't know how much this is going to change anything.
Right.
But
you're just-
I agree that Murphy has overstepped his boundaries. I think it should go back to the Assembly and the Senate. I mean, I think it's been over 24 months that they've had no say
Right.
in just about anything.
I just think even though it doesn't do a lot and it's got to change, it's time for us to start standing up.
You have to stand up.
And one piece at a time, we all stand up, and we
Yeah.
stand up for the people of Pequannock and the children.
Again, this whole idea of vaccines and mandate it, do not ever let the government tell you that you have to put something in your body. That is a decision that's to be made between you and your doctor. Don't listen to town council, don't listen to the governor, don't listen to the guy down the block or the girl. That's a decision to be made between you and your doctor, and you make the best possible decision for yourself and for your family. Do not ever let the government or anybody else make that decision for you. So I am 100% against mandate.
And that's what we're doing here, is we're collectively making a statement, and we have a right to do that, so.
And unmask our kids. I'm done with that.
All right. Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I make a motion to adopt Resolution R 2022-58, especially R 2022-59 and R 2022-60.
I'll second.
All right, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Absolutely, 100%.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. All right, and we have no items listed for discussion this evening. And there are no new reports or notices, so we're going to go into council reports and announcements. We'll start with Councilman DeRisi.
Ooh, you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Hi. Township Committees, the Historical Society Committee met, however, albeit not at their date. They met last Wednesday. They did the reorg. Mr. Jay Wansik is chairman again. I think he likes doing that. And they just discussed a little bit about what they're going to do this year, which is good. And they're interested in some of the monies in the budget that we're going to talk about. But it's coming. Just like Christmas.
Just like Christmas.
Just want to give a quick congrats to Mr. Brewer for being elected to the secretary of the, let me get this right, the MCMJIF. What is that, Mr. Brewer?
The township's insurance provider is a joint insurance fund. The Morris County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund is what that stands for. There are 45 towns, and I'm privileged to serve in that capacity.
Good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Fire Company Number 1, giving mutual aid to Passaic. They were down to Passaic for a day or so during that big fire down there. So thank you for them that went down there. That was great. My condolences and prayers are with the 2 officers in New York.
Yeah.
The one that passed away and the other one that's clinging to life. So hopefully,
He passed it.
Brian. Oh, we did? Oh, I didn't hear that.
I think he
Sorry.
passed away.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. So that's bad. So just with their families. Give a shout out, as we heard from Miss Amanda, about the CARES event. That was pretty good. And if we're gonna get more like that, I'm all in. That's pretty good. Very good. Quick thing, Lincoln Park is having their 100th gala. Did you know that on Thursday, March 10th, no.
I think you're right. March 10th.
But March 11th, 1922, they separated from Pequannock Township to become their own
We're
borough.
having a party for when they left us.
Take one.
They should have said, "Oh, we regret it. We really like
$160 at the
that."
Cosmopolitan, right?
Pass it down. If we wanted to go, it might be cool to get a table together, but I'm probably not going to be here. I'm going to be at Daytona Bike Week, sorry.
There you go.
I'd go if you went, John.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk in and say, "John's paying for me."
What's that?
I'll just walk in and say, "John said he paid for me."
I'll pay for you.
He's in Daytona.
Right, and I'm getting on my list of what I started last time, but I would like to thank our township manager, Mr. Brewer, for the work he does in town. Thank Mr. Osteich for what he does for us, keeping us in line, especially me. Mrs. March and Mrs. Michelle downstairs for sending us all this paper. I love paper. Thank you, Chief Community and the Police Department, for keeping us safe, watching over the town. Fire companies 1 and 2, all the volunteers and the new officers. I don't know who they are, but I know they're having a
Installation dinner.
soon.
This Saturday.
And I'm not going to be here either.
Fingers crossed
sorry.
if we don't get too much snow.
No, we're not going to get too much. We're good. And then just all the other township employees for what they do for us, pointing everything in the right direction, and all the volunteers for all of the committees for the town. There's quite a few of them, and they all volunteer their time, so thank you very much.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
that's it.
DeRisi. All right, now we're going to jump over to Councilman Hurd.
Oh, I got to follow that?
Yeah, go for it.
I'd like to thank John.
I'm raising the bar, Ryan. Let's go.
Thanks, buddy. I really have nothing. None of my meetings, I didn't have any meetings, but I do want to, again, thank Pequannock Cares. That was a great, very cold day, but I really appreciate you guys bringing the families of Pequannock together. So that was great. Keep doing it. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. I'm very excited about that. My condolences, unfortunately, to the 2 police officers in New York. That is very rough, especially at any time that it happens. It's just absolutely horrible. I've said my piece on mandates, so I'm not going to go there today, and that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And Councilman Cole.
Company 2 met on 113. Wasn't too much going on at Company 2. 116, most of us attended the Pequannock Cares event, or all of us attended the Pequannock Cares event. It was very well attended and a nice event. Thank you very much for putting that on. I would have liked to see the helicopter, though. I might have heard it fly over. 129 this Saturday is the Company 1 and Company 2 installation dinner at the castle.
What time does that start?
Starts at 6.
6.
Let me just confirm that. I believe it starts at 6.
With you in spirit.
I have 6 o'clock start time. I believe from 6 to 7 is cocktail and hors d'oeuvres, and then at 7 o'clock the dinner starts. So keep
So
your
then we don't have that vehicle, we could have ridden into there.
It's amphibious, it's not a snowcat.
Same thing, right? They both have big tires.
Oh, these.
So we'll see everyone there. John, I'll make sure that they know that you're there in spirit. So that's all. That's all I have. I mean, like everyone said, the 2 police officers in New York. It's tragic. It's you don't know what you're going to get involved in. You think that Pequannock is safe, but it's the people that are coming into Pequannock that you have no idea who you're pulling over, who you're stopping, what that person has in the vehicle. So, all police officers. So, God bless them all. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Russell.
Did you forget my name? You're like, Councilwoman. I agree with what everybody said. Prayers go out to the families and prayers of safety to our own police department and our own first responders, because you do never know. We did have a library board meeting. We welcomed Christina White to the team. She's going to be a great addition. The environmental had a meeting. They went over the collection that they did, and like I reported on last week, it went very well, and they're going to do it again. And the CARES, thank you very much for stepping up and doing that. I wasn't able to make it. I was able to make it the week before, but I was working. But I was there in spirit, and I was getting updates constantly via pictures and text, and it just looked like a really, really fun. I totally would have been there for the s'mores and the fire and all the other fun
Definitely for
stuff
the
you
fire.
guys had. It was so nice. And thank you for that, and thank you for being a part of this town. And that's all I got.
Okay. Everyone said it best. But the only couple of things I want to add, last week, some of us went to honor yet another Eagle Scout, Pierce Spencer. He did the fire pit at Aquatic Park, and congratulations to him. Pequannock's really put out quite a few Eagle Scouts over the years.
Pierce Andrea?
Oh, I'm sorry. What is it?
It's Pierce Spencer and
Andrea. I'm sorry. Pierce Andrea. Spencer is his middle name. What else? Economic Development Committee, they meet tomorrow night. And again, kudos to everyone. Pequannock Cares, that was such a great event. It was well organized, and everyone had a lot of fun. Other than that, I don't have anything else. So that's it on that. Next, we'll go into public comment. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name and address for the record. Anyone for public comment? Yes, Michael. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you.
Hi, Mike Bertuna, 8 Reynolds Road. Beginning meeting because of the resolution. I think it's a great thing that the council did, so thank you for that. I had a question about the ordinance. Was that for the public hearing? Was that passed? I didn't hear if you guys voted for it.
Well, tonight
Was it?
Yes, it was
The
passed.
resolution was passed, we voted for it. It was
No,
in-
the ordinance.
The ordinance was,
Yeah.
the ordinance that was had on for public hearing.
For the
they-
fees.
Yes.
Yeah, you had the public hearing, and then you passed it?
Yes.
Yes.
Because, so, I just looked at it, and so it looks like you put in fees for practicing on fields for the...
That's
Yeah.
the same, I believe, for...
Yeah, the only
Yeah,
change
that's the same.
is...
That didn't change.
So that didn't
Nothing
change?
changed for you guys.
Oh, okay. I guess it was, I don't know what part it was under, but,
There were programmatic fees that changed. Other than programmatic fees, there were no...
so nothing changed with that?
Correct.
Okay. All right, that's it.
That wasn't a sneaky one, don't worry.
Yeah, I was just checking, yeah, that's all, no practice and...
That's why I was careful, I said programmatic.
Gotcha, okay. But again, the reason why I came here was for, because of the resolution, and I think it was a great thing, so thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Anyone else? Want to come up? No? Okay, next is the approval of the minutes. We have a few to approve. December 14th was a regular meeting. December 16th was a special meeting. December 23rd, a regular meeting. We have the January 4th minutes to approve. That's from the special reorg. Mr. Hurd, you have to abstain on that one.
Yes, thank you. Mayor.
And January 11th was a regular meeting. So are there any comments on any of the minutes? Did you all get to review them?
I'll make a motion to
All right.
approve the minutes from December 14th, December 16th, December 23rd, January 4th, and January 11th.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's it. Next on the...
Well, she
Oh, wait.
said it.
Well,
You
you
want me to
said-
make it official?
Just
All right.
make it official.
I'm abstaining from January 4th minutes. So if I abstain, does that mean January 1st didn't happen? Oh, well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And Carol, thanks for getting all those minutes together. I know they can pile up quickly. Next on the agenda is a closed session discussion. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R 2022-61, authorizing the Township Council to meet in executive session?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, at this time, the public portion of the meeting is recessed for the closed session, so thank you.